What's up everybody? In this video I will show you how I did troubleshooting to get my 12-year-old LG natural gas dryer heating again. I will include additional information at the end of the video. So here's the problem. We first noticed that there was intermittent gas smell around the dryer. It was also taking longer to dry the clothes. A few weeks later, the clothes were not drying at all, the gas burner was not turning on at all, and we had no heat. The electronics and the electric motor still worked fine. Some people online suggested to press a reset switch inside the dryer. Near the burner, there is a thermostat, and it has a button that allows you to manually reset it. When there is a clog in your vents, the thermostat will pop and shut off the burner system to prevent a fire. The vent did clog. In fact, it popped open under the house and the lint was spreading everywhere under the house. But now the vent is not clogged. I reached in from the back. I found the thermostat, I pressed the button, and it clicked, but that didn't work. So I replaced the thermostat, but the dryer was still not heating. It was time to open the whole dryer up. I found a disassembly video on YouTube that matched my LG dryer's motherboard orientation. This video is awesome and helpful in disassembling the dryer. I did not record myself disassembling the dryer, but I will post a link to this video in the video description. So here we are with the dryer open. The gas comes in through this pipe here. It enters the gas valve. Then the igniter lights the gas, and the heat from the flame gets sucked into the drum through here. The hot air dries your clothes, then exhausts through this fan, and gets pushed out the back of the dryer through this tube. This is the burner side where the hot air is made. This is the blower side where the hot air exhausts. Let's identify some parts. On the blower side, we have two sensors, the thermistor and the thermostat. The thermostat is also known as the outlet thermostat or the blower thermostat. On the burner side, you have two thermostats. This lower thermostat is known as the high limit thermostat and it has a manual reset button. This is the one I replaced from the rear. This upper thermostat has an automatic reset feature. It cuts off when it gets too hot and then reconnects when the temperature cools back down. Here you have the flame sensor. This is the burner igniter. And then you have the coils on the gas valve. There are two coils. Let's test all these components with the help of the diagnostic sheet that came inside the dryer. I'm using my multimeter that I've owned for many years. I will post a link to it in the video description if you're interested in it. Starting at the blower side, the thermistor needs to be checked using resistance, so I set my multimeter to the resistance or ohms setting. The reading is based on the ambient temperature. Here is the sheet for the readings. Our ambient temperature is 65 degrees Fahrenheit. Put one lead on one metal pin inside, the other lead on the other metal pin. The order doesn't matter. 12.69. Let's check the sheet. It's working good. No need to replace it. Let's move on to the thermostat. I'm doing a continuity check. This checks to ensure that current can pass through the thermostat. A good working thermostat allows current to pass through and will beep when you put your leads on your two terminals. If current cannot pass through, that means there is no continuity, the thermostat is broken and needs to be replaced. I have my multimeter set to the continuity test with the beep. It doesn't matter which pin you put on the terminals. We have a beep. The thermostat is good. Moving on to the burner side. With the multimeter still in continuity mode, let's check this top thermostat on the funnel the same way. It's good. This lower thermostat is the one I replaced, but let's check it anyways. It's good. Here's the bad one in case you're curious. Now let's check the flame sensor using the continuity test as well. I replaced the flame sensor because it was bad, so this one should be good. It's good. Let's check the igniter using the resistance ohm setting on the multimeter. I replaced it because it was bad, but let's check it anyways. I have this model here, so we are looking for a resistance reading of 100 to 800 ohms. It doesn't matter which lead you put on which pin. It's within specifications, it's good. The last thing to check are the gas valve coils. These coils need to be checked using the resistance ohm setting. We are looking for a value between 1.5 and 2.5 ohms. The order of the pins doesn't matter. Put one lead on one pin and the other on the other side. 1.85. That is within specifications, so this coil is good. Let's check the other coil. It's good too. So after replacing one thermostat, the flame sensor, and the igniter, and putting everything all back together, I got the dryer heating again. You can hear the burner making some heat. Let's go over some tips. Take pictures of everything before you start disconnecting things. This will make it easier when reconnecting everything back again. Spin the drum when you are reassembling everything to make sure everything is aligned and it's rotating smoothly. The specific part numbers can be found using manuals online. Then you can look for those part numbers on Amazon. I cleaned the thermistor using a paper towel since it has not been cleaned ever. I used an electric screwdriver and it made the job way easier than using a manual screwdriver. There are so many screws to remove. To help me organize them, I used masking tape to wrap the screws for each part together and then attached that tape to the part itself. To help move the dryer or washer around easily, you can spray water at the feet and in the path you are moving it to. When you are fastening the gas line, use this yellow tape and wrap it 3 to 4 times around the threads. Spray soap and water to check for gas leaks. I had to tighten this further to prevent gas from leaking. To move the front LCD panel out of the way, you can leave it dangling to one side, or you can disconnect it from the motherboard. I did not have room to leave it dangling safely, so I disconnected it. I broke a couple of clips because they're brittle after 12 years, so be gentle. The connector still worked, but I just taped them to prevent them from disconnecting again. This connector on the motherboard here was tricky to remove. You have to press it in from underneath before you can pull it out. You need to press in right here in this area, and I tried and I couldn't do it because it's underneath. So I had to remove the whole motherboard to get better access to remove it. The motherboard is attached to the white rectangular plastic. The plastic is attached to the frame by one screw. First, lift this whole wire harness out. The wire harness is tucked under the plastic tabs. Pull back on the tabs as you slide the wire harness up and out. Then you can remove this screw. There are 2 tabs that hold the whole plastic and motherboard in place. Slide the white plastic rectangle with the motherboard over until the tabs are in these gaps here. Now you can lift the whole motherboard up and out towards you. Then you can easily access this part of the connector to release it. That's all I have for you. This is the first dryer I have ever repaired. You can do this if you spend the time and research all the information that you need. If you have any questions, leave them below in the comments section. I'll see you guys in the next video.